So here are a few warning signs to look out for. A person frequently talking about suicide, self-loathing, or self-hatred. Suddenly getting their affairs in order, saying goodbye to loved ones, withdrawing from others, and self-destructive behavior. Talking to a friend or family member about their suicidal thoughts and feelings can be extremely difficult for anyone. If you are unsure whether or not someone is suicidal, the best way to find out is to simply ask. Giving a suicidal person the opportunity to express their feelings can provide relief from loneliness, pent-up negative feelings, and perhaps prevent an attempted suicide. You can start the conversation with statements like, "I've been feeling concerned about you lately. I've noticed some differences in you and wondered how you're doing today." If they confide in you and they are suicidal, respond quickly by telling them you care and get them the help that is needed. Help is always available at the Crisis Center, the Department of Social Services, BASH, Sandlands Rehabilitation Center, and the National Hotline for 24-Hour Crisis. Find someone that you can trust to talk to about your feelings and get the support and help that is needed. I am Inspector Pinder, reassuring you that your mental health matters. You are not alone. Get the help that is needed today.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for watching. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. Phishing, a term you should be familiar with as a method of defrauding unsuspecting banking customers. Tonight, authorities report on the uptick of this criminal activity and the need to be diligent with banking information. Also, as the government announces additional savings for Bahamians and the like with a reduction of value-added tax on certain essential items, find out what stakeholders have to say about the latest VAT slash. And learn how Bahamas Air is faring with a shortage in fleet capacity by as much as 50%. Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Hold on to your banking information for dear life, or you might just lose every penny of your savings, and in some cases, funds never to be seen again. At least this is the fate of far too many Bahamians, and what's more is that those numbers are climbing. Daniel Dean leads us off tonight at 11 tonight on the Royal Bahamas Police Force's concerns about phishing scams.
We've been quite successful in placing a number of persons before the court, being charged with receiving funds that were fraudulently sent to other persons' accounts.
This, according to officer in charge of the Financial Crimes Investigation Branch, Superintendent Anthony McCartney, a result of the noticeable and alarming rise in phishing scams here in the country.
We have had a number of customers from various financial institutions affected by the scam.
Superintendent McCartney advises the Bahamian public to remain cautious, despite the fact that only a select few banks have been the targets in past months. He added the scammers target every age group. Superintendent Yvette Roll Davis, deputy at the Financial Crimes Investigations Branch, details the process.
What you have is the SMS text coming to the individual, apprising them that they were locked out of their account, or their account has been placed on hold. So the individual they would then send a link asking them if they want to access the account further for them to press that particular link. As they go into pressing the link, they're now forwarded to where they have to enter their username and their password.
It's then that the banking institution send a verification code that the fraudsters request from their victim. This code is the key to locking users out. making them powerless to the perpetrator's tactics. On the other hand, there's a more sneaky tactic that involves the willing participation of victims' family or friends in cahoots with scammers. But regardless of the method used,
once the persons are arrested, if the funds are still available on the bank account, we'll be able to get those funds back to the individuals whose accounts were compromised.
The fact of the matter, though, and a sad reality, each person is responsible for the information they release into the public. Yet the unit is devoted and determined to bring each perpetrator to justice. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Even more reason to be careful with banking information. Thanks so much, Danielle. The Davis administration's recent value-added tax reduction on certain goods is already turning into a political football, with sides trading barbs over the amount of that reduction, its timing, and yes, even its significance. Corval Pyfrom has been following this story.
Take your pick of political football or a hot potato. The Opposition Free National Movement says it welcomes the government's attempts to relieve the economic burden off the backs of Bahamians, but it still believes the government's recent move, slashing VAT rates from 10% to 5% on items including medicines, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, and both baby and adult diapers, simply does not go far enough. The FNM's point man on finance is East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson.
Most of these items were actually VAT-free or zero-rated under the Free National Movement. So when the Progressive Liberal Party came into office, they increased VAT on these items by 10%, and now they are reducing it to 5%.
However, National Insurance and Immigration Minister, the Honorable Alfred Sears, doesn't understand the opposition's divisiveness on this issue. He welcomes the relief, especially for residents of his Fort Charlotte constituency. Minister Sears cautions that the global community has still not fully weathered this tumultuous economic storm.
When you have global disruption and the global logistics are impacted, of course it will increase the cost of living, and therefore it's important that there be a greater government intervention to cushion and lessen the impact of the global dislocation that we are seeing throughout the world.
Still, Thompson feels the Davis administration's VAT reduction on these particular items falls short.
Which, again, is simply not enough. Also, it is like you've made the mess, and now you are attempting to clean up the mess, but you are still not going far enough.
Newly elected president of the equally newly established Bahamas Pharmaceutical Union, Dr. Marvin Smith, believes VAT rates on medicines could be reduced even further. He hints at eliminating the tax on pharmaceuticals entirely.
We need to be looking to talk to countries like India and creating memorandums of understanding that allow those products here directly without some of the middlemen in some of the other territories. All right? Mm-hmm. And that will keep pricing down, but also give us good quality products.
The Bahamas Pharmaceutical Union, Dr. Smith tells us, is eager to work with policymakers to help bring further relief to Bahamians. This is Corval Pyfrom for the Bahamas Tonight. Back to you in studio.
Thanks so much, Corval. Well, based on the people we spoke to earlier today, it's safe to say a cross-section of Bahamians need those items for which VAT has been slashed. Here again is our Daniel D.
Charles Skippings is a husband and father, and this 5% drop in VAT means much less spent monthly on feminine hygiene products.
I have a large family, 6 kids, 4 of them being girls, and I'm a married man, so, you know, that impact them greatly.
These views come after the government enactment of a 5% decrease on medicine, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, and baby and adult diapers. This concerned resident has an opinion about taxes on everyday necessities.
There shouldn't be tax. You know, I always say that, but 5%, it's not bad.
As dependents upon hygiene items, these two women who both work in the medical field say this 5% decrease in VAT on medicine is a most welcome relief for clients they face daily.
I am very for the 5% decrease. I work in the medical field, and seeing how this benefits the clientele, the patients that are, having issues affording medication as is.
Because it's one of the biggest cries we hear. People cannot afford medication, so in that aspect, I think the 5% is good, but I think we could go. I think we could go back to zero if that is even nearly possible. Because when we had a 0%, patients definitely enjoyed a better quality of life.
As consumers adjust to the change, the consensus is that this decrease was long overdue, but quite welcome. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks, Danielle. The global evolution of digital currency takes center stage at the Central Bank's Digital Currency Conference at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort this week. This emerging ecosystem promises faster transactions, reduced fees, and increased accessibility, but it also raises questions about security, regulation, and privacy. The Bahamas made history in 2020 by launching the Sand Dollar, known as the world's first central bank digital currency, and that's why conference director Beat Attinger believes the Bahamas is the right place to host this event.
The CBDC conference covers the latest innovations in the digital currency space. So we're talking about retail CBDCs, wholesale CBDCs, stablecoins, and tokenized deposits. There's a lot to be discussed between what are the cases of application for CBDCs, so central bank digital currencies, and what are the applications for stablecoins and tokenized deposits. And this, it's not clear what the role of the suppliers or of all these payments facilities are, so that needs a lot of discussion.
Central Bank of the Bahamas currency manager Jermaine Campbell noted that with much still being discovered about the Sand Dollar and its possible applications, the issue of navigating failed network access remains a concern.
Apple Pay has an offline functionality where once internet connectivity is lost, there are funds already waiting in an offline environment that can be accessed. We're still finalizing that. And so we expect at the end of the day, once we're done, we'll have that same capability.
Today was the deadline for Montgomery Shantytown residents to vacate their homes. More than 130 structures have been identified for demolition in the government's continued push to demolish shantytowns nationwide. On Monday, ZNS News reported that some of these shantytown residents claimed they had not found alternative accommodations due to limited resources and high rents. Notices were issued back in August, giving residents 28 days to vacate these homes labeled as illegal. It is reported that many homes there have no running water or electricity connected to the national grid. The Ministry of Works carried out 7 demolition exercises on more than 500 structures here in New Providence, Abaco, and Eleuthera. The latest notice to vacate was issued this past weekend in South Andros. The Montgomery Shantytown demolition is expected to happen any day now. Still to come, Bahamas Air needs more planes. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new. Signature hot, hot wings. What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Welcome back. An agonizing wait for hundreds of airline passengers stuck at Lynden Pindling International Airport. Weather conditions caused some flight diversions to the capital, including American Airlines Flight 1917, where a passenger reported that they waited for an hour on the tarmac before being escorted into the terminal. They were scheduled to land in Miami, Florida around 4 p.m. yesterday, but were diverted to Nassau and did not take off until after midnight. Nassau Airport Development Company Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development, Jan Knowles, confirmed to our news team that the passengers faced extremely long wait times because of crew time issues. Airline crews can only work a certain number of hours, and once those hours were completed, new flight crews had to be flown in to accommodate the passengers. Knowles also advised that by 1:20 a.m., all 4 flights had left the capital. Meantime, the national flag carrier is once again grappling with a critical fleet shortage, a challenge that's been grounding operations and impacting passenger services, as Bahamas Air is currently operating at just half of its intended capacity. Managing Director Tracy Cooper confirmed that only 3 of the airline's 6 ATR aircraft are currently in service. The latest to be taken out of rotation is a 70-seater aircraft acquired this past March that is now grounded due to maintenance requirements. According to Cooper, the situation could improve in the coming weeks.
Up until August of, I think the 12th of August, there were 4 ATRs flying out of the 6 that we had. We subsequently removed another one for heavy maintenance that is scheduled. We will get back to a 4 aircraft fleet sometime around the beginning of October.
And some good news tonight on the tourism front. You may have heard that a fire impacted Comfort Suites Hotel on Paradise Island. Well, the hotel confirmed in a release today that the area endured severe thunderstorms yesterday afternoon, which resulted in lightning striking one of the property's transformers when a fire erupted in the basement. The resort credits the quick action of employee Ken Roll, who just happened to be in the area and immediately sprung into action with efforts to extinguish the blaze. Officials say the true champion of Roll's quick thinking mitigated an even larger catastrophe. The resort confirms the damage was only confined to its electrical room, and thankfully, no one was injured. Comfort Suites is grateful to the Royal Bahamas Police Force and its Fire Services Department for acting quickly. On his way out of the political door, distinguished law scholar, educator, and current Minister of National Insurance and Immigration, the Honorable Alfred Sears, reminded his regional parliamentary colleagues of the uphill battle still faced in reaching true gender equity. Minister Sears participated in a panel discussion during Day 4 of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association's annual meeting, which addressed the separations of power and independent parliament. Noticeably, the Caribbean region has disproportionate parliamentary representation to its overall makeup. In most of these regional states, women account for more than half the population. Minister Sears says this is why this matters.
Among the women of our country, the committed to education, committed to professional development, and also engage in very innovative activities, creating businesses, and also, of course, engage in the development of our institutions, all of our institutions. We must engage women and make the political process hospitable, because they are amongst the best prepared within our society and have a tremendous contribution to make at every level of the political process.
Michelle Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Michelle?
One of our Golden Girls returns home. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
We'll lead off with this report. This one is a good one to lead off with for Sunday.
Your weekend news just got better. Exciting features, good vibes. It's
It's all about the feeling.
Hey, I'm Raven, and your Sundays never felt so good. Tune into Northern Service Vibes, where culture meets conversation, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. She's one of the country's most decorated track and field athletes and spent the past decade as one of the more productive coaches at the U.S. collegiate level. And while Golden Girl Debbie Ferguson McKenzie has returned home. San Antonio sports team catching up with the Olympic gold medalists, who frankly said she had missed her family and friends, and it was simply time.
I've been in the States since 1994, and you know, you work all the time. I come home 2 weeks in June and 2 weeks in December and realize it's that time to choose family. My mom is here, my husband is here, and I've been getting homesick. And so I finally decided it's time to come home. I didn't have any plans. I just needed to make sure when I prayed about it, the good Lord gave me peace. You're doing the right thing. And so as I started making plans to come home, he started making everything like fall into place. So one of the biggest plans for me, though, is to be able to motivate the next generation of Bahamian athletes, Bahamian academia, to think great, to inspire to be great, and do the impossible.
First Lady McKenzie adding that her time in the U.S. was needed, but it's now time for her to make that same impact here at home.
Just happy to be home for my mom and my husband and for the Bahamian people. Be able to use me as an asset. They said much is given, much is also expected. And so it's time. I'm happy to be here, and the Lord brought me back for a reason. And I would like to fulfill that reason and make it happen. And not just for athletes, but for Bahamians and their health, you know, physically and mental fitness and everything else. And just taking care of you as a person, but let's give back to the next generation.
Now stay tuned for part 2 of our sit down with the Golden Girl. Wednesday Sportscast, she discusses the current state of Bahamian track and field. More from professional basketball player Kai Jones and his One-Up Cup over the weekend. Jones saying he hopes to continue to host events such as the tournament in the future. Adding that the showcase gives the young hoopers a platform that can expand to more than just sports.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm going to be speaking to everybody that I know about this, and I'm going to be sending it to everybody I know. So right now the focus is to get them on to school, and right now the focus is to help them get to college and show them what it's like to work hard and just have fun and take it one step at a time, because there's so many things that you can get out of basketball from an education standpoint, just to see the world and travel. So yeah, the NBA is the goal for, I know, a lot of these guys, but it's not the only thing that this brings. This brings them exposure just as a brand, as a person. Some of these kids may want to do music, some of them may want to get into acting, but this is just a way for them to keep building a name for themselves, you know.
And Jones, who was rumored to be working out with the Miami Heat last month, giving the media an update on what's next as far as his pro career is concerned.
Yeah, so that's still in the works. I'm now representing myself, and yeah, I've got a few offers on the table, so still in the works, still considering, yes sir. My body feels great. I've been working and recovering, working out at John Mayer Institute, but I feel great. Body feels the best that it's ever felt, so I'm really happy and feeling loose and free and athletic, so I'm ready to play.
Bahamian swimming official Mansur Roberts has been appointed to the World Aquatics Technical Swimming Committee. Roberts, who serves as Technical Director of Swimming and Open Water Swimming for Bahamas Aquatics, becomes the first Bahamian to serve in this capacity. Now, of course, World Aquatics is the global governing body for aquatic sports, holding oversight for all World Aquatics, Swimming Championships, and Olympic Games swimming events. Roberts has served as Technical Director for Bahamas Aquatics for more than 15 years. And that's been a look at your sports on this Tuesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing off until tomorrow.
It's the glitziest night in agriculture, where roots run deep and the spotlight shines bright. The Agrarian Awards 2025 takes center stage on Saturday, October 18th at the Atlantis Paradise Island Grand Ballroom. And you need to be there. Presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization. Get your tickets now at adobahamas.org or call 397-7400 for more information. The Agrarian Awards 2025, planting with heart and soil.
There are over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor, just waiting to be found. Nothing is truly ever lost at sea, only hidden by time and sand. When I put this fleet together, it wasn't just for fun. And although we do have fun, we never lose sight of our goal. Right here, right now, we are on a mission.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a jungle parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars. And then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read As I See It, exclusively at ZNNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
It's time now for your final weather check of the evening with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royson. In the tropics remain quiet, and for very, very good reasons. We have this pocket of dry air in the far eastern and central Atlantic, and that is suppressing that development in that part of the tropical Atlantic. But we do have some moist air just ahead of the Leeward Islands, and that's working its way into the Caribbean Sea. And hence, this is the area that we'll be keeping our eyes on over the next several days, as by the end or close to the end of the month, we could see some activity developing here in the Caribbean Sea. But the good news is that we'll be well to the south of us and will perhaps move into the Gulf of Mexico. Satellite pictures, well, that's showing that stall out front boundary across the Florida Peninsula, which has been there well over a week now, and it will continue for several more days. So we'll continue to see pockets of showers and thunderstorms over parts of the northwest Bahamas, in particular around the Bimini, Grand Bahama, and Abaco areas. County Capital will get a little break between now and tomorrow, but by Thursday, some of those showers will return to the forecast area. Temperatures around the islands, Marshall, Abaco at 82, 81 in Green Toll Key, 81 also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands, 82, 81 in Alistown, Bimini, 85 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, 82, Otterstown, Cat Island, 82, Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space, Los Angeles at 83 degrees, Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 82. Pick up some more 82s in San Salvador and in Rum Key. Georgetown, Exuma, 1 degree up at 83 degrees, 83s again in Rocket Island, Clarence, San Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and in Acklands. Matchitown, Inago, 85, and the Turks and the Caicos Islands, the warm spot tonight at 87 degrees. Now, your boating forecast tonight, we're looking at, well, partly cloudy conditions, very warm, with your low temperature around 80 degrees. And then tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny with a thunderstorm in parts of the area, and that will be of an isolated nature tomorrow. 92 degrees will be your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast looking like this. Odd passing shower on Wednesday. It becomes a little bit more scattered as we head into Thursday. Friday, widespread showers and thunderstorms on Friday and Saturday, and by Sunday, we'll see the skies open up once again, so lots of sunshine will work its way back into the forecast. Also, Sunday taking us into the early part of the weekend. Now, that cloud cover, once again, will keep those temperatures pretty tame below the 90-degree marks for almost a 7-day period. But those nighttime temperatures still very, very uncomfortable. Royce.
Thanks so much, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.
At Fort Charlotte, I'm Garnell James. This is ZNS.